Welcome to Crimepedia. I am your host this week. I am Morgan. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And with me, as always, is the wonderful co-host. It's Cherry.
Hello.
Hello, Cherry.
Hello.
Hello.
What a week. I've just been reading through some of our reviews. Thank you so much for the brilliant reviews. And we do happy dances every time we get them. So thank you so much. Yeah, we got a new one from Joe Hill 79 from Canada. Thank you so much. It was 5 stars. So big fat hugs to you. Thank you very much. If you want to leave us a review, you can. Actually, I just added us to Good Pods. So we're added over on Good Pods now. So if you want to go on there, you can leave us reviews and follow us on there and listen to all our episodes on there as well. So I've just added us to that as well. So wherever you listen, you can give us a review if you want to. If you don't want to write anything, you just whack the 5 stars. That would be amazing. Thank you very much.
That'd be perfect. So we have some big news for our listeners. Next week, Cherry, tell us what we have coming up next week.
Okay, so exclusively for our Patreons, next week we're going to do our episode live. So it's Halloween, obviously, next week. We usually record our episodes on a Sunday. So I thought it would be fun. I'm going to do a bit of a different episode for you. So I'm going to give you the episode as I normally would, but you need to guess at the end of it, have I given you a trick and I've given you a made-up episode, or have I treated you to a normal, real-life true crime episode?
Ooh.
So I thought it'd be quite good fun. I thought, well, maybe we'll do it live. So if you're on our Patreon, you can watch along. You can watch the episode live. If you're not on our Patreon, then you can wait until Tuesday when it's released as usual, and you can hear it on audio as you usually would. So I thought it'd be do something a bit different for Halloween.
That will be a lot of fun.
I'm interested to see whether you're going to guess whether I've made it up or whether it's a real case. It'll be interesting to find out.
And you're not going to tell me anything about it?
Nope, nothing.
I'm not going to Google it while you're talking to me about it.
No, you're not allowed. No, you have to do the whole episode with your hands on your head. So I can see. Yeah, hands on your head so I know that you're not Googling the names that I'm going to give you just in case. Because if you can't find them, then you're going to be like, oh no, it's a trick episode. And if you do find them, if it's a real episode, then you'll go, it's real.
Yeah, we'll figure it. I'll figure it.
I think it'll be fun anyway.
Right.
Yeah, if you cheated, it wouldn't be fun. So there'll be shame on you.
So if you're not a part of our Patreon, we would love it if you would join. It's you can join for as little as $2 a month. Today, we went about 40 minutes on our Crimepedia Extra for Patreon.
We've talked about everything, haven't we? We've talked about the Brian Laundrie situation. We've talked about Alec Baldwin's situation.
Yep.
We've talked about how Halloween supposed to be sexy or not. There will be a poll on this in the coming few days. So we talked about, it's just sort of the same kind of show, but we talk about anything and everything. So
exactly. Yeah. So it was good times. All right, Cherry. So how about we jump into this week's case?
Let's go.
Jelani in Swahili means great, powerful, full of strength. And by all accounts, this fully represented who Jelani Day was as a person. He was a young man full of promise, beloved by family and friends, who had a smile as bright as his future. But when Jelani would go missing under unusual circumstances in August 2021, it would leave all those who knew him concerned and heartbroken. This is Crimepedia, and this is the case of Jelani Day. All right, Cherry. So Jelani Jesse Javante Day was born in 1996, the fourth of Seve and Carmen Bolden Day's 5 children, and the youngest of 3 sons. Raised in the small rural town of Danville, Illinois, Jelani grew up being taught by his parents to always be respectful. Seve and Carmen would push their children away from complacency and the entrapments of poverty, gangs, and drugs, and towards education and academic excellence. It was expected that after high school, all 5 children would go on to either college or join the military. All 5 would go on to earn their college degrees.
Oh.
Now, Jelani would attend Alabama A&M University, a historically black college where he would earn a bachelor's degree in communicative disorders. He was inspired to pursue speech pathology after a childhood friend struggled with a speech disorder. Jelani had decided to continue his studies and enrolled in classes at Illinois State University in Normal for the fall 2021 semester, where he had plans on earning a master's degree. But just a week into his classes, Jelani Day would go missing. On Tuesday, August 24th, Jelani had a scheduled meeting at 7:45 a.m. with Kara Boster, the speech language pathology clinical education director in Fairchild Hall. But Jelani would not show up for that meeting. After texting Jelani to see what was going on and not receiving a response, Kara would then wait for Jelani to get out of his 1 p.m. class, but he failed to show up to that class as well. Since this was not the sort of thing that her graduate students would do, and certainly not something Jelani would do, Kara notified campus police, who would make contact with Jelani's parents on Wednesday, August 25th.
That's really good, isn't it? That's really good that she did that. Knowing her students that well, that's really good that she would know that he wouldn't normally do that, because an early alert on something like that could be absolutely vital for an investigation. So good for her.
Especially since, I mean, he was just 1 week into courses. So this isn't, so she wouldn't have been completely familiar with him by this point.
It's not like she's been teaching him for like all year, but that's really good. That's good for her.
Yeah. Now, I believe they had been communicating the night before,
right?
Texting about the meeting the following day.
Yeah.
So it would have been abnormal for someone to go, I'll see you tomorrow morning, to completely just disappearing.
But then, she could have just said, oh, he didn't turn up. Like, what an idiot. And been mad at him and then just carried on going about her day. But good for her for actually alerting somebody and asking his parents, is everything all right? Because realistically, if something had happened to him that night, the last thing his parents are going to be thinking in an emergency situation is, I better phone his university tomorrow. So it was good. I think it was really good thinking on her behalf to actually try and contact somebody. So, yeah.
And it's very easy for people to dismiss people of his age. So he's 25 years old.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So how many times is it where it's like, oh, well, he's an adult,
Exactly.
I don't need to be babysitting him or whatever.
Mm.
But she knew that something was wrong with the situation, and so she's going to do what she can to try to figure out what's going on.
That's
and to try to get help.
Yeah.
All right. Now, his family would make several attempts to reach him, but calls to his cell phone would go straight to voicemail. Jelani's parents would then report him missing to the police, stating that they had last spoken to him on the evening of Monday, August 23rd. One of Jelani's older brothers would then accompany the police to Jelani's off-campus apartment in nearby Bloomington. While they would find his apartment in order, they discovered that Jelani's white 2010 Chrysler 300 was missing as well. Now, police would quickly begin the search for Jelani in his car. On the afternoon of Thursday, August 26th, officers of the Peru Police Department in Peru, Illinois, discovered Jelani's car abandoned and concealed in a wooded area south of the Illinois Valley YMCA and north of the intersection of 12th Street and Wilcox Avenue. Now, Peru is roughly 60 miles north of Jelani's home in Bloomington. Okay,
so maybe like an hour away.
Just under an hour away.
Okay.
And it's a direct north drive to Peru. Okay. Now, like I said, this was in a wooded area. And when I say it was concealed, it was actually off of a parking lot, like actually in the woods.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, in addition to it being abandoned and concealed, the license plate had been removed from the car.
So somebody's done it on purpose. It's purposeful, yeah.
The car was removed and transported to a secure facility for further processing, while a large search effort was launched near the site where the vehicle was found. A command post was established in an extensive canine search by the Illinois State Police, drone aerial searches by Peru Fire and Utica Fire drones, as well as ground searches by teams from Peru, Utica, and Oglesby fire departments were conducted.
Whoa, so they had like masses of people on this case.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The Peru Police Department were also assisted by detectives from Bloomington. So we have numerous
multiple agencies
working this.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. Now, during the investigation, detectives were able to obtain security video from Illinois State University, which showed Jelani in the Bone Student Center at approximately 7:20 a.m. on Tuesday, August 24th, where he purchased a coffee from Starbucks located on the first floor.
Okay, so we know he was seen then.
He was, yes.
First thing in the morning buying a coffee, yeah.
First thing in the morning. And so he was seen on the camera wearing a blue button-up collared dress shirt, black pants, a black belt, black dress shoes, and a blue face mask.
So when you say dress shoes, what are dress shoes? Is that like suit shoes?
Yeah,
like that's correct. Like, so yeah, okay.
So not like sneakers. So they,
proper shoes.
Proper shoes.
Okay.
And this is what he would be wearing. So this would have been expected.
Okay.
That he would be wearing going into this meeting and also into his courses.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Now, investigators would also discover that at 9:12 a.m., Jelani was captured on another set of security cameras, but this time entering the Beyond Hello Cannabis Dispensary located at 1515 North Veterans Parkway in Bloomington. Okay. So this is just under 2 hours after he was seen.
Is that a confirmed sighting? It's definitely him.
It is 100% him.
Okay, right, okay.
100% him.
Right.
What's interesting, though, is the footage would show that Jelani was no longer wearing the clothes seen in the footage from the Bone Student Center.
Okay.
Instead, Jelani was wearing a blue Detroit Lions hat, a Jimi Hendrix Band t-shirt, gray athletic shorts, black socks, and black sneakers.
Okay.
So it's sometime between 7:20 a.m. and 9:12 a.m., Jelani would have left Illinois State University, possibly went home to his apartment. This is just speculation. Okay. Could we know that he changed? He changed for some reason.
Right.
Something happened after between 7:20 and 9:12, which we don't know what happened, but he obviously did not make his meeting.
That's what I was just about to say to you. That seems strange.
7:45.
That he was at the university at 7:15 and was seen on the camera, dressed and ready for the meeting, but didn't make that 7:45 meeting and ended up in completely different clothes down the road in a cannabis. Is cannabis legal in that state then?
In Illinois, yes, it is.
Okay, so it's legal. So okay, so it's not illegal for him to be going and buying it. So that's okay. And do we know if he's a usual cannabis user? Is that just like usual to him or?
That is one thing I do not know.
Okay.
I've not been able to I was not able to find anything on it. I don't want to speculate or make assumptions.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was at least familiar with the process of of what to do at the dispensary and what he was going to purchase.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, police would request that anyone that had seen him wearing that clothing or matching his description between 9:15 a.m. on August 24th and 4:20 p.m. on August 26th to contact authorities. Now, that date on August 26th is going to come in. It comes into play because that is the time that they found the car in Peru.
Right. Okay. So, yeah.
So we know that sometime between 9:15 on the 24th and 4:20 p.m. on the 26th, he made his way from the Bloomington area, the Bloomington normal area, up to Peru.
To those woods, yeah.
Now, an interesting note, though, the police did state that the clothing items that he was seen wearing in the footage from the dispensary were found inside the car. It would no longer be on Jelani.
So they found his clothes in the car?
Yes. Okay. So apparently the clothes that he was seen in the footage...
In the dispensary, yeah.
In the dispensary was in the car.
So he's got changed again?
Yes.
Can I ask a quick question? It might be really stupid, but because obviously cannabis is not legal over here. So over there then, can you smoke cannabis and drive at all? Or is it like alcohol? You can't drink and drive? Or are there certain limits you can drive at a certain limit of... I suppose it's different for different states, isn't it, for you? It's not
it is. I'm not sure. So where I am, cannabis is not legal.
Right. Okay. So it's an absolute no anyway.
But I believe there is certain limits that you cannot go beyond and legally drive.
So a bit like alcohol. So a bit like alcohol. So you can only drink a certain amount and drive. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. That's correct.
Because I was just wondering if he sort of knew he was going to be smoking it, would he then be driving, or has he bought it to then smoke later? Which is what I was just wondering. Maybe if it's legal and you can drive and smoke it anyway, there's going to be no issue with that. But I was just trying to sort of work out what his process might have been after going there and buying it. Okay.
No, I mean, that is absolutely reasonable.
Okay.
Now, after making a purchase, Jelani would be seen once again on the security cameras leaving the dispensary and heading back to his white Chrysler 300. This was the last confirmed sighting of Jelani, and at this point, it appears as though his cell phone had been turned off.
Right.
Okay. Now, on September 4th, an unidentified body was discovered laying face down on the south bank of the Illinois River, approximately a quarter mile east of Illinois Route 251 bridge. Now, no identification was released at the time, and authorities stated that such information could take several days or weeks. Now, it would end up taking 20 days before the coroner's office would identify the body found in the river as 25-year-old Jelani Day.
Oh, no. His poor mum.
Yeah. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Now, because the state of the body, the coroner had to use dental records and DNA analysis to identify his body.
Okay.
Law enforcement agencies would point to a backlog of DNA cases and a possible shortage of testing materials that could have caused the delay in the result.
Particularly with COVID and the way it's been, everything's backlogged up, isn't it? And so, yeah, you can see how I'm sure it's affected law enforcement and that kind of stuff just as much as it has deliveries of other things. So I can quite believe that that's a problem.
That is a huge problem. Now, no cause or manner of death was determined from the autopsy, and his death was not officially ruled a homicide.
Right.
Now, authorities have only noted unusual circumstances surrounding both his disappearance and the discovery of his body. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a secondary independent autopsy was ordered by the family, which led to some confusion from its findings. In a October 8th article by Chicago Sun-Times columnist John W. Fountain, the independent autopsy found that Jelani's body had been completely waterlogged. It had numerous fish and turtle bites.
Yeah, of course.
He had no eyeballs, just the sockets.
Yeah.
His front, top, and bottom teeth were missing.
Oh.
And his jawbone had been sawed out.
Okay, so the fish bites I get. The eyes I understand, because obviously when a body is submerged in water, that's the first thing usually that gets eaten up by wildlife is the eyes and the soft tissue. The sawing of a jawbone, I don't know of any fish that carry hacksaws, so that seems very suspicious to me.
It does. Yep. This is graphic. His penis was described as being flayed, which, if you remember, this, as soon as I read that and I thought about that, I thought about the West Memphis 3.
Yes.
Which one of the boys, his penis appeared to have been flayed.
Yeah.
Okay. More than likely, let's get this out of the way. More than likely is from fish turtles. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm getting.
Is that very likely?
Yeah, I would think so.
They go for penis rather than like thigh?
They're gonna go for anything that's fleshy. Really.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like thigh and butt cheek. You think they'd go for the biggest?
They're not gonna be discreet about what they're going for. It's not
I understand.
They're gonna I will only eat filet, and I'm not gonna have a T-bone or whatever. They're gonna get whatever they can.
Okay.
All right. Now, the private forensic pathologist who conducted the second autopsy report stated that the body contained no internal organs, no liver, no spleen, no brain.
No.
Okay? This is where, okay. Because of this, social media posts began speculating that Jelani could have been a victim of organ harvesting.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But this was not the case. Okay, let's make this very clear. Not the case.
Right.
No organs were missing from the body. By the time his body had been discovered, some of his organs had begun to severely decompose and
Oh,
liquefy
liquefied.
due to
Okay.
being in the river for several days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So obviously, as they liquefy,
Yeah.
you're going to go and you're going to be expecting to see a liver, spleen, whatever, and they're not going to be there.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that explains that. Okay. His jawbone, which fish and turtles do not carry saws.
No.
His jawbone and teeth had been removed during the initial autopsy in order to identify his body.
Oh, okay. So they hadn't been they'd been removed at autopsy.
That is correct.
Right.
Now they were able to use some tissues from the brain, the kidneys, livers, et cetera, for toxology reports.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there was some organs left.
There was enough, to send off
enough
for toxicology.
to use.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, NMS Labs in Horsham, Pennsylvania, prepared a toxicology report for the LaSalle County coroner, which findings were released on October 14th. The report noted positive findings of caffeine, cotinine, and delta-9 carboxy THC.
So what are those two?
Now, cotinine is the compound formed after the chemical nicotine enters the body.
Right. Okay.
And delta-9 carboxy THC is a byproduct produced in the body after cannabis is consumed.
Yeah. So obviously he had smoked a joint at some point.
That is correct.
Okay.
Now, according to the report, the amounts of caffeine and cotinine found in his system were not typically toxicologically significant.
Okay.
Okay. So the toxicology report would unfortunately provide no answers as to what happened to Jelani.
No. We know from the CCTV that he was drinking or had a Starbucks. So that sort of answers the coffee and the caffeine system. We know that he was at a cannabis store. So that then explains the cannabis. So that kind of gives us an idea of what's happened up until then. So that works well. So, okay. Next.
Well, so this is where we currently stand in the case. Okay. Now, this case, if you're kind of following along, Jelani went missing the same week as Gabby Petito. But this is a case that's not been covered much at all by the news media, by really anyone.
No, not at all. I haven't heard of it. I don't recognize his name at all. Whereas if you said Gabby Petito to me, straight away I know exactly who you're talking about. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously there's a lot of weird things going on with this case. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about first where he ended up. Okay. So he ended up in, once again, Peru, Illinois, which has a African American population of 0.4%.
Oh.
So he would have stood out in Peru.
He would have been in a minority of, okay.
An extreme minority. Okay. Now, police would discover his wallet located a few blocks directly east of where his car was found.
Right. Okay.
And they were able to find his ISU, Illinois State University, lanyard with his ID located directly east of where his body was found.
Okay.
Okay. So close to the river. What I don't know, and this is where I think everyone kind of gets stuck on, right? Is this a case of Jelani coming across someone or someones who did him harm and disposed of his body? Or is this a case of someone who ended their own life?
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions then. So I was going to ask you, so does he have a girlfriend? Is there any kind of girlfriend, boyfriend, or any relationship status whatsoever?
None that anyone is aware of.
Okay.
So from what we understand, he was single at the time. Yes.
Okay, and I guess they've checked his social media accounts, checked his phone records to see if there's any conversations of meeting anybody, and there's obviously not, because you've not mentioned it.
They have not checked his phone because they have never located his phone.
But surely the cell phone company can give them those details.
I mean, they might be able to. They can give you basic details, but they won't be able to tell you who you've been communicating with.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using
like WhatsApp or something,
the texting. Well, yeah, if you're using a text, just the text that's through the wireless company, yeah, they might be able to pull the records.
Yeah,
but if you're if you're using something like WhatsApp, which maybe he's not, you're not going to know that. Or if he's communicating using DMs on Instagram, Twitter, if he is using TikTok, no, there's going to be no way to get that without reaching out to all of these.
Yeah, they should be reaching out to all the different platforms to see if they can get in his DMs and check the phone company to see if they must. Surely there must be a record, a digital footprint. There must be a footprint of what he's been doing. Did his phone send text messages at certain times, leading up to this? The other question I had for you was, so I went straight away. The first thing that came to mind was what if he was carjacked? So what was the car that he had? Because I'm just going to have a look and see what kind of car it was, because I don't know that name of that car.
It was a 2010 Chrysler 300.
Okay, so is that an expensive car? Oh, here we go. Chrysler 300. Oh, okay. It's a nice car.
There's actually pictures out there of his car that you could actually see.
Right. Okay. So could it be? I don't want to speculate with this, but he went to the cannabis store. Could he have been selling it on? Could he have been meeting somebody? Is that kind of? I mean, I don't know anything about drug dealing, but is that something that's likely? But I doubt it if you can go and buy it yourself.
Exactly. I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
Could he have been carjacked? Yes, it's possible.
Yeah, so just thinking, like, it's quite a nice car. So is it because he's in Peru as well? That's the other thing. What's he doing in Peru when he was supposed to be at a meeting? So why? There's a reason he's gone and got changed. If you look at his behavior beforehand, he's got the drive to go to university. He's got the drive to go and get a degree. So he's a motivated pupil. And that morning at 7:15 or whatever it was, he's up, he's dressed, he's drinking a Starbucks in his suit, his formal wear. He's ready. And then within 2 hours, he's then buying cannabis in a shop dressed in his shorts and sneakers. So I don't really, obviously something has happened in that time for him to just give up this meeting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because the security footage that we saw on the 24th is really, you look at it and it's two different people.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I wondered. I mean, I'm just looking at pictures of him now, and I'm just looking at his car. His car is a really nice car. So I'm wondering, maybe was it a carjacking?
And the car meant a lot to him. The car was actually his grandfather's, and his grandfather gave it to him before he passed. So the car meant a lot to him.
So it's not likely that he's just going to discard this car.
No.
And just like, and also he's not, I mean, so the area that he was found in, what kind of area is it? Are we talking like swampy? Because I know you said there was a river, but are we talking like banks down to get into the river, or is this like flat, you can walk straight across to the river?
It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
Now where he was located, he was, like I said, he was located a quarter mile just to the east of the Illinois Route 251 bridge. Okay,
so it's possible that he could have floated downriver.
Yes,
if he would have floated dead.
He would have floated downriver because where he was found was, it's almost like crop fields. Like that's the closest thing.
Okay.
So there's crop fields like along those way.
Yeah.
Now the Illinois River at that point, it's not a fast moving river.
Right. Okay.
So if he did float down, first off, he would have come from the east. So he would not have been able to jump from the Route 251 bridge and ended up where he was.
Right. Okay.
So there's a few options there. If he either committed suicide, jumped in the river, which I don't think he did, and I'll explain why in a second.
No.
Or if he was thrown into the river, he would have more than likely been thrown in from possibly the Route 351 bridge, which is to the east.
Okay.
There's also a trailer park, which is just south of the river and to the east of where he was located. More like to the southeast of where he was located, where he possibly could have floated up that way. Now, there's one other option.
Okay.
Which, if you're looking at a map, so if you have a map, this is probably a good time to pull up a map because I love map. And I'm going to talk about different places, okay?
Hit me with the places and I'll have a look.
Okay. Now, do you have Peru up right now? Peru, Illinois?
Let me just get it up. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Now, you see how the Illinois River kind of like cuts it's just to the south of Peru and LaSalle.
I see
and you see where it kind of makes a little horseshoe?
Yeah, I can see it by the community college, Illinois Valley Community College.
Yes, just north of it. He was located, if you were to go just a quarter mile east of 251, so right before where it kind of...
Okay, you need to remember this is me, so not so fast. Okay, sorry. So no, that's fine. Okay, so we're going east up the Illinois River, away from the horseshoe. Okay.
Well, no, so if you're heading towards the west now. So I'm going to show you where where he ended up, okay?
Yeah.
So where horseshoes, if you go to the top of the horseshoe,
I see.
Like right before it kind of kinks back to the west.
Yes.
Along that bank is where he was located. Okay. Now, if you go directly east, not down through the horseshoe, but if you go directly east, you see where there's kind of that waterway right there. You see, was it Husey Lake or Hughes Lake?
Hughes Lake. No, I don't see that.
It's like right in the middle of where the horseshoe is.
Okay. Oh, yes, I see it. Sorry. Yeah, I was looking at the grain factory. Now, I see. Yeah, the lake surrounded by loads of trees.
Yep. Now you see the waterway to the north of that.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That is the Illinois and Michigan Canal.
Canal, I see it. Yeah.
And at the end of that waterway, there's something called Lock 14.
I see it. Yeah, I see that.
Okay. And right there's a parking lot at Lock 14.
I can see it. Okay? Yeah.
That is another possibility where if he would have floated out from down this canal, and if he would have continued in a eastwardly direction, he would have ended up right at the location on the bank where he was discovered.
Right. Okay.
Now, I also believe that this is roughly the area in which they located his lanyard.
Right.
So
where was his car located on the map?
Okay.
Where was his car found?
Okay, you see Joliet Street, which is right next to the parking lot to the canal.
Yeah, I see it.
All right,
it goes north to south, doesn't it?
Yep. You're gonna go north on Joliet Street.
Yeah.
Okay, and take that until you get to 9th Street.
Okay, 7th Street, 8th Street, 9th Street. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go west on 9th Street.
West, yep.
And you're going to hit a section with trees. You're going to see McKinley Park.
McKinley Park, I got it.
And to the north is Illinois Valley, the YMCA.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you see where they're on 12th Street and Willclocks, where it looks like there's a section that kind of heads in, like, I don't know, it's like a little runoff, which kind of heads into the woods?
Yeah.
And if you go north, you see the corner of the parking lot. His car was in there.
So his car is really far away from where he was found.
Yes, it is. I think it's about 3 miles.
He's not going to park his car there and walk down there, is he?
No, he's not. So he was discovered there. His wallet was, like I said, his wallet was discovered directly to the east of where his car was.
Yeah.
Based off of what police have said. So police have actually asked people in Peru if they have, if they've saw anyone that resembled Jelani.
Yeah.
walking down
251
Charter Street.
Yeah, okay.
You see where Charter Street
I see,
is?
yeah.
Now, this is where it's confusing. 12th Street actually turns into 9th Street. The
It's
reason
very
why is
confusing.
because it is. The reason why is because it actually switches from if you're looking at a map, 12th Street is Peru, where it says 9th Street, that's actually the city of LaSalle.
Right.
So
okay.
instead of working together and say, hey, let's make sure our streets are the same, you see it, 9th goes into 12th, 11th goes into 8th. It's really confusing.
So as an English person, this is a very confusing way of doing roads too. So the best way for me to describe it to you, because it's nothing like we've got in England. So this is basically made up of so many roads that it makes tiny little squares. So it looks like a grid. It's tiny, tiny little squares. There's so many different street names, like 12th Street, 13th Street, and then there's names of streets as well. But it literally cuts the whole sort of the countryside. It cuts it all up into tiny little squares.
Yep.
And
that's why
it's very confusing.
They're called blocks.
Yeah, I see. Because you did explain that to me before
you've heard,
about the blocks.
Yeah, you've heard the word block. Like, I'm walking down, this is my block or whatever.
Yeah.
A block is that little
square
area that's your block.
Right.
Now,
okay. This is very weird though. From where his car's found to where the lanyard's found, this sounds to me like somebody's discarding his belongings. They've hidden the car because that's the most, if somebody's looking for somebody, they know he's got that car. A car is the most likely thing to be seen. So this, to me, I know you can't make assumptions, but obviously you've got to look at the picture. What I would pick out of this would be the car has been hidden. So it's been hidden by either him or by somebody. And then the belongings have been discarded on the way. But the one thing that sticks out in my mind from this is that the T-shirt and the cap are still in the car. He either got changed or he's walked down the street with no shirt on. And that's very, very unlikely.
In a area that has a population of 0.4% African American.
Yeah, he would stick out.
African American male walking down the street with no shirt on would be something that someone would see.
Would draw attention. So that he obviously didn't do that. He obviously didn't discard his shirt and his cap in the car and walk out. So that is quite telling. So when he was found, did he have any clothes on at all, or was he?
Apparently he did, because one of the ways that they were able to identify him was his mother, Carmen, was able to identify a shirt that was with him as being one of Jelani's.
So they knew it was one of it. So he has had extra clothes with him. That's interesting. So he's now got changed twice.
Yes. Which makes it doesn't make any sense.
No.
It makes no sense to me.
That makes no sense to me either. Unless he meant to get changed. So he's obviously got changed for a reason. And I wonder what the reason that he's in Peru is.
Well, no one knows why, because according to family, he has no connection to Peru. He's never been to Peru from what they understand.
Right.
But of course, at some point when you become an adult, you start going places and you're not telling your family, your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters, everywhere you're going.
No, that's exactly.
So is it possible that he went to Peru before for something? Yeah, it is possible.
Of course.
But no one knows if there is a reason for him to be in Peru, or if there was a reason that he's ever been to Peru. Nobody knows. Now, let's say hypothetically, this is just a hypothetical. What if he did kill himself, right? And he did so in the area of Lock 14, and that's where he parked his car. It would explain it. This is one way I would explain how his car got to where it ended up.
Okay.
What if someone saw the car, saw it, like, okay, I'm going to steal the car. What if it was they stole the car, they took it somewhere, they realized it's going to be a really hot car because now all the, there are reports of, hey, this guy's missing. This is his car. And someone goes, shit,
we stole the wrong car.
We stole the car. You're going to get rid of it. You're going to get rid of your license plate. You're going to get rid of all his stuff.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Definitely.
However, my problem with this theory of him killing himself and ending up in the water, unless he shot himself, right? Or did something.
Yeah.
He isn't going to drown in water. He was actually on the swim team in high school.
Right.
He was an athlete. He ran track at Alabama A&M. So he's in good physical shape.
Yeah.
He knows how to swim.
Yeah.
And drowning yourself
It's very
by
hard.
putting yourself in the water is very, very hard. Okay. Now, the other thing is, people could say, okay, well, what if he did jump from a bridge? Okay. I find it very difficult to believe that he would have jumped from any of these bridges into the river and would have died because of impact.
But not only that, it's the fact of jumping off of a bridge and nobody seeing you. I can understand it was the middle of the night, but he was seen that morning, not long before he went missing. So we're talking about he's gone missing during the day. So I can't see that he's jumped off of a bridge and not one person anywhere has seen him. That seems strange to me.
Yeah, exactly. So the Illinois River, the bridges over the Illinois River, we're not talking about jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge or even like, Tower Bridge or whatever. It's not a high jump.
Right.
And the second thing is the Illinois River at in these locations, we're talking about anywhere from 13 to 15 feet deep.
Right.
So it's not like he's jumping from the bridge and he's hitting the ground or hitting the bottom of the river and dying.
Okay.
So I don't think he would have either jumped from a bridge or just put himself in the water and hoped he was going to drown.
I'd be interested to know what kind of cannabis user he was, because we know that cannabis is a depressive drug, isn't it? But it's quite a calming drug, and I wonder if there's a reason he's taking it. There's a reason he's smoking cannabis. So is it because he's stressed? Is he smoking it to calm down? Is it a thing that he does with his friends? What's the reason he smokes the cannabis? Because that would be very interesting to find out as well. How often does he smoke it? How often does he get it? Why does he smoke it? What's the reasons? Because if he smokes it when he's stressed, particularly to calm down, then we know that day he was more than likely stressed about something. And it would be very interesting to see how well, obviously we don't know because his family don't know, but there must be, or somebody must be aware of why he would be in Peru. If he was meeting somebody, then somebody knows, that somebody knows that they were due to meet him. If it's a girl, then there's surely going to be some evidence of him chatting. I mean, because we do a lot online nowadays. Could it be that he's met someone on, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, or some dating thing, and you don't always tell your family about stuff like that. Conversations that you're having with new people online, you don't always mention things like that. So could it be that he was going to go to meet somebody? Could have been meeting a girl. He could have been meeting a guy. He could have been, you don't know. And so I would be very interested to see about Peru and what kind of person if he's meeting people, if there's been anything within his social media, or there's been anything within his phone that perhaps he could have been meeting somebody. I find it a bit strange I know that people do commit suicide without any warning sometimes. I mean, like you say, he's a 25-year-old man. Really, he's an adult. So is there a chance that he's upset about something that he's not told anyone? Then yes. But the people involved in what he's upsetting will know about that. So there will always be somebody who knows what's going on. So it seems strange to me. And that's why I think perhaps, like you said, with the car being hidden because oh shit, this guy's dead. Could this have been a carjacking that went wrong?
Yeah.
Could he have pulled into that? Could he have been just driving around and pulled into that Lock 14 car park to sit and smoke? I just think that's weird in the middle of the day. I can understand of an evening, but why would you drive all the way up there and pull in there and have a smoke there? I find that weird.
There's a lot of weird things in this. I have this feeling that something happened between the time he was in the student center.
Yeah, 7 to 9. Something happened then.
And when he got to the dispensary.
Yes.
Because for all intents and purposes, it appears as though he's ready for his 7:45 meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's just giving that up to go and buy cannabis.
In a snap. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if he's stressed out about school, or if he's stressed out about school, is he going to get ready?
No.
To go to a meeting, make that drive, go buy a coffee, and then all of a sudden go, I can't do that. I got to go and leave.
And the meeting wasn't cancelled. We know it wasn't cancelled. So it's not as if he's gone, oh, well, it's cancelled. And then now he's got the rest of the day to himself. So there's definitely something in those 2 hours. Something has happened, which is why I asked about his mobile phone and like the records, because something has happened. Surely the police can get the phone company to tell him whether a call was placed to him during that time, whether his phone received texts. I mean, I don't believe that there's nothing.
Well, it should have received text because we know that Kara Boaster had been texting him.
Yeah.
To find out why he didn't show up
there. Yeah.
To the meeting, which he had to have received because we know he was alive at 9. What time was it? Like 9:20?
20 something.
9:15, 9:20? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my assumption is if, he's not showing up at 7:45 by at least by 8 a.m., she's probably texting him like, hey, is everything okay? Or where are you? Are you going to be able to make it?
So, and also, why would he just turn his phone off? If that's the case, why would he just turn his phone off and that's the end of it? Which is why I thought like carjacking. Could it be that someone's, carjacked him, got rid of the car, something's happened and they've just dumped him in the water?
Yeah.
But I mean, what have they gained from it other than the car? But they haven't even gained the car because, I'll be interested to see what was in his wallet. Did he have any jewelry that was missing? There's so many questions, isn't there?
Yeah. No, there are. I have a hard time believing that he would have driven up to Peru, Illinois to kill himself.
Yeah, I agree. I find that weird.
I have a hard time believing that if he was having some sort of issue, that he wouldn't reach out to his mother, to one of his
sisters,
siblings,
hasn't he? Yeah, I was going to say he's got sisters. Yeah.
He was the type of guy that would constantly talk to his mom, right? So him and his mom were very close.
Mm.
He talked to her the night before and everything was fine.
Right.
I truly believe that if there was something seriously wrong, either because of mental health or he was stressed out or I feel like he would have called Carmen. And I think he would have been open with her. So it's hard for me to believe that he would drive to a unknown place and kill himself and then hide his car.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
Or take the license plate off. Why if you're going to commit suicide, why would you
get changed so many times? Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you get changed so many times? Why would you go through the, hiding the car, hiding or removing the license plates?
It makes no sense. No.
Because the license plate sounds to me more like someone trying to cover up what they did, right?
I wonder because there's I don't know if you've seen it. So there's some CCTV footage of him going into that cannabis store, and when he walks in the door, he looks right up at the camera,
right at the camera,
right at it. I mean, could that be?
Doesn't that almost look like this? When I saw that, and I haven't mentioned it, but yeah, when I saw that, it almost looks like he's wanting help.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like someone that wants help?
On purpose. It looks like he's fully looking at the camera on purpose. So, I mean, you can't see, because I've just tried to look in at the picture of the car. You can't see if anyone's in the car with him. You can't see if he's actually got anyone with him. I find that he just looks very nervous in that picture, and he's looking right at the camera. I think it's, I mean, with the car, was there any damage to the car?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Right, okay.
No, you can go, and actually if you look at you can go and just search pictures of his car.
Yeah,
you can actually see it. And if you look, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of damage to it.
No, I mean, I just looked at that.
It's in pristine
car.
It's in pristine shape.
I mean, it's lovely.
I mean, there might be some damage to a back passenger door, side door.
Okay.
Maybe. But besides
he's a really
that,
handsome lad too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I find it's just such a, to me, I don't think this was just, I mean, it could be that he's gone somewhere, he's had an accident and he's fallen, he's hit his head, he's unconscious and he's drowned in the water. We don't know that because the autopsy reports, obviously his internal organs were liquefied. So there's no cause of death exactly. The toxicology reports can give us that there's no poisons, there's no, they've got the cannabis in there. So if he had somebody in the car at the time and was carjacked and they sent him in there to get some cannabis, he wouldn't probably have had it in his system, because I doubt they're going to make him smoke it. If they've just carjacked him, I doubt they're going to do that. So it seems very strange to me that he would take himself off on his own from that meeting and just take himself off an hour away from home, in a place that's quite weird, that doesn't mean anything to him as far as his family know.
Mm-hmm.
If it had a sentimental meaning to him, they would more than likely know about it. If there was some sentimental meeting, like to the place that he was found, or where his car was found, or the area, chances are if he's close to his family, they're going to know that Peru there means something to him. So it doesn't seem likely that it's going to be something like that. When you put all the possibilities together, I think, it just reminds me of Sherlock Holmes. Then once you get rid of all the possibilities, or the impossibilities, only the possible will be left. And so to me, it seems impossible that someone's done this to him in a planned way, because he was going to a meeting and then he's just randomly left the college and got changed and gone. So there was a reason he got changed and left.
Yeah.
Had it have been straight from home, I would have thought differently. But the fact that he was dressed in his smart stuff and he was at the college with a coffee just before a scheduled meeting, that makes no sense that he would just get changed unless something happened. So something has to have happened for him to do that.
Well, what could have been?
I know.
I don't know. Because it doesn't make sense if you're to the point where you're suicidal and you had enough and this was the time to do it. Why do you change? Why do you care?
That's the other thing that's the other thing that's strange, is that he's changed not once but twice before he's found. So I don't know. Was he going to meet somebody? But then that doesn't explain the changing twice. That doesn't, the actual events don't really make up. Obviously, there is an explanation. Something had to have happened, but it's just trying to find what. I mean, his family, I've just been looking on Twitter. One of his sisters has put things on Twitter, and it says like that he wasn't sad. They weren't aware of anything going on that would have affected him so bad. But obviously, you don't always know everything about your family members. God, it's crazy, isn't it? And we didn't hear any of this. We didn't hear about any of this. And this is just as mystifying, if not more mystifying, actually, than the Gabby Petito case. And yet we didn't hear anything about this one.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, really isn't it? This is a really sad and awful for his parents to know that that's happened to your child, and that, he was there for all that time and nobody knew.
And it has to be tough for them too, because they're watching the news just like us.
Exactly.
And day in and day out, they're seeing Gabby Petito. And
I'm wondering why their son isn't talked about.
Yeah. Why is their son, why is Jelani not as important? Or is his life not as valuable as someone else? Which is not the case.
Name as well. That name's I've never heard that name before. It's lovely. Jelani's a really nice name.
It is.
I really like that. It's really sad. I hope that the police, this has not gone cold, is it? They're still investigating this.
They are still investigating this,
good.
Yes. I believe they have the FBI, I believe it's one of their behavioral groups is now involved.
Excellent.
And so I think they're probably looking into his social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I would think so.
Now, his mother, Carmen Bolden Day, has been asking for FBI help.
Good.
Even though, I think that the police departments did what they could have.
Yeah.
She feels as though that they might not have done everything they could have.
Yeah, of course.
Or enough.
Of course.
Yeah. There is some there is some things that she has some true grievances that she can complain about.
Yeah.
She had issues with the coroner. She had to send in dental records for her son. And then obviously they didn't do anything with them for weeks. And then the coroner had to get additional ones. And there had been some inappropriate comments made to Carmen by the coroner. Yeah.
Really?
So
oh God.
No, there is. I mean, I don't want to say it is inappropriate, or maybe inappropriate is not the right word. Maybe insensitive.
Insensitive. Yeah.
So there was some insensitivity towards the victim's mother on at least one of the calls. So I understand her frustration.
Of course.
And
yeah. And also, you've got to remember, this is a highly sensitive and highly emotional case for her because it's her son.
Yes.
The coroner, and we know it's like sometimes in fields of work and fields of expertise, the coroner does this every single day. And so this is another case to the coroner. And so sometimes, like sometimes if you go into hospital and the doctor can be a bit blunt with you and you think like, oh my God, how insensitive. But the doctor's just treating you like a number because he's dealt with this sort of thing all day, every day for the past God knows how long. And you are just another case. And so I think sometimes that happens. It shouldn't happen, but sometimes, unfortunately, it does.
I think whatever happened to him was abnormal. It's not, if he put himself in the water, I think would be abnormal. That's not.
You don't think that he committed suicide?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
No. It's very, very suspicious. I don't think, honestly, I could say either way because I think there's so many more questions that I've got to kind of to make a decision either way. In any case, somebody must have seen that car. You're not telling me that nobody saw that car driving anywhere around that area. Somebody was working, driving to work, driving to school, driving the kids to school. Somebody must have seen his car. Somebody must have seen him outside of his car if he got out himself and walked away from where that car was left.
There was one unconfirmed reported sighting of the car at or near or at the woods where it was discovered.
Okay.
But like I said, it's unconfirmed.
It's unconfirmed, yeah.
That's correct. I mean, it's easy for someone to say, oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw that car on this day. But you can't confirm. So we don't know. The person's unidentified. It's unconfirmed. But someone out there has stated, yeah, I saw the car at the woods, at this location on this day.
So, if he had been walking down the street from the location of the woods and discarding his own, we know with the Peter Bergman case, he walked around and just disposed of his stuff in bins all the way around the town before he was found dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But if that's the case and he did walk down there, you're not telling me he walked down there and not past one other soul the whole way down that road. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Somebody would have seen him walking down that street to get to where his body was found.
I don't think he was ever at the location where the car was found.
Okay, so you don't think he was ever in the woods?
No, I don't. I don't think he was ever in the woods. I don't think he was ever near where the car was found.
Really?
I think no, I don't, because like you said, the way that his stuff was kind of strewn about, right? I don't think he's walking down the street throwing his wallet
stuff around. Yeah.
I think someone else took that car, someone else drove it into the woods and took off the license plate and left it there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's horrible for his mum to know. That's awful for his parents to know that that's happened to him, but be getting sort of no answers about anything, especially when you're dealing with law enforcement and you're having issues with them too. It just must be so, at the worst time of your life, it just must be so frustrating to not be, because as a parent, you want to protect your child, and no matter how old they are, and you want to be there for them, and you fix things, don't you, as a parent? And then in this case, you must feel so helpless because you're asking the police for answers and they don't always disclose the answers to the family until they know for sure, which is understandable. But from a parent's point of view, it's very frustrating. You'd want to know, like, okay, what are you looking at? What suspicions do you have? What evidence have we got that is making you think that way? You'd want to know. And you think, as I think I found when I've been looking into cases, you feel like it's your right. And with like coronavirus, just for example, the government would then say, no, you close your business. You're not to work. And you think, it's my business. And you just telling me, no, I'm not allowed to work. And this is the same in that sort of situation where the mum is like, I want answers. I want you to tell me what direction are you going in? What are we thinking? Whereas they are like, they would keep that separate from her. And that's frustrating because you're like, that's my child and I'm the mum and I need to know. So I feel awful for her, and obviously and for the dad, but I'm just speaking from a mum's point of view. Yeah, it's really sad. Oh. Yeah. Well, let's hope we get some answers. I mean, in Gabby's case, we've got answers. We're getting answers. Yeah. Let's hope we'll get some answers in his case as well.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever done a case as recent as this.
No, not this current. No, definitely not. We don't.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like you said, we get some sort of answer and some sort of resolution for the family.
Definitely. I hope so. Well, let's keep an eye on it and we'll see. We'll see what we can find out and we'll update you as and when we can.
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you like me to lighten the mood slightly?
Let's slightly lighten the mood with a little dumb criminal.
Hey, you's a dummy. And you's a piece of shit.
So this week's dumb criminal, if you've never heard the show before and this is the first time you're listening, at the end of the show, we usually try and lighten the mood slightly and we give you criminals that aren't, say, top of the brain tree. So this week's case is 18-year-old Ruben Zarate, and he tried to rob a muffler shop in Chicago.
Okay.
I don't know what a muffler shop is. Is that like a muffler as in like a gun muffler? Or
No, like a car muffler. So a car muffler.
Oh, okay. Right, well, he tried to rob this shop in Chicago and soon realised that the money that was in the shop was actually in the safe. Okay. So he then decided to try again later. So to make life easier for himself, he left his mobile phone number with the employees so that they would let him know the best time to come back and rob them.
No.
Yes.
No.
How stupid. Like, what was he even thinking?
No.
So you go to rob...
way too much. It happens too much.
You try to rob a shop, and because it isn't the right time and the money's in the safe, you ask the cashier to let you know when's a good time to come back and you give them your phone number.
No.
Oh dear. So that is the dumbest of the dumb criminals I could find this week.
So obviously the cashier or the employees didn't follow his request.
No,
didn't give him a call and say,
they thought the police might like to give him a quick call, and have a word with him. Silly sod. Silly man.
It's terrible.
I know. It's so funny, isn't it?
I gotta start like a course on like what not to do if you're gonna be a criminal.
Yeah, I know.
Don't leave your telephone number.
Yeah, we should write a book about this. There should be like a robbing section.
Oh my
Don't eat Cheetos when you're robbing a house. Don't leave the crumbs of your Cheetos or smile after you've eaten the Cheetos. Don't rob the shop with a cucumber and show them that it's a cucumber.
Oh my God.
Don't go and ask about your accounts before you start to rob them, because obviously your accounts give away your phone number and your address.
Yeah.
It's surprising how often this happens.
Didn't we have one that was robbed the store and he thought the clerk or the cashier was like cute and he gave her his number?
Yeah,
name and number,
right.
Like, hey, give me a call.
Yeah. Hey, give me a call. Just robbing the bank, but give me a call when you finish work. We can go up.
Because that's what every woman wants in their life.
Of course they do. Yeah, a bad boy,
criminal.
Robber.
Hey, girl, what's up?
I'm just gonna rob the shop. Yeah.
Here's my number.
Here's my number. So that is your dumb criminal for this week. And also don't forget that tickets are on sale now for CrimeCon 2022 in the UK. We're back to the same hotel that was this year, so still the Leonardo in St Paul's. It is a lovely area of London to be in, and we have got tickets on sale already. So just to let you know that tickets do increase in price the closer we get. It's only like 8 months away. It's not very long away at all. So you can get your early bird tickets, and you can get I think if you were there this year, you can also get lots of discounts. But if you want to use our code Crimepedia, somebody asked me how much the 10% will get you off, but it depends on the type of ticket that you buy. So
when you get it,
when you get the tickets and what type of ticket you buy, there's different ones available. So if you use the code Crimepedia at checkout, then you will get 10% off of whatever you've purchased. So just bear that in mind, that you get a 10% discount off of it anyway.
Yeah. And we are just about almost exactly 6 months away from CrimeCon in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to be there too.
We'll be there too. Our tickets are still on sale for that. And once again, you can get a discount if you use our promo code Crimepedia for that as well.
Yeah. So we'll be seeing you at both next year, which is exciting.
Be the first time that we're going to be together at CrimeCon. It's going to be trouble.
We'll be in Vegas together first, and then literally like a month and a bit later, we'll be in the UK together at the next one. So I'm really excited to introduce you to the UK podcasting crew. So I think you're going to love them. I think they're going to love you. I think it's going to be really, really nice to introduce you to everyone.
And I'll have
they're a nice bunch.
You to the US.
I know. I'm excited.
Podcast crew.
A
lot of good people.
Hopefully I don't mess it up.
You won't.
Fingers crossed. So we will be back next week with our Halloween episode. Don't forget, next week it's going to be live, and we're going to have, if you're in our Patreon, you can watch it live and hear it live and interact, obviously, because you can send messages and stuff during the show. And if you haven't joined our Patreon yet, why not? But if you haven't, you can listen to it as usual on Tuesday. It'll be released as normal as an audio file, so you can listen to it then. So for now, be nice.
And bye.